Let me at him!
Well, there it is. Welcome to a first impressions video for the Crossroads. This is where I talk about my impressions of the 4 versus 4 player map, the Crossroads, and my experiences playing it so far on the Battle.net ladder. So, this map looks really big, really big, and at the same time it looks really kind of complex, doesn't it? It looks like there's so much going on, but it's deceptive. It's deceptive because it's incredibly symmetrical, much like many of the older maps. To be fair, they have to be symmetrical to a good degree because of, well, a funny thing called balance. However, this one actually isn't as detailed as it seems. That's the beauty of it. There's like a deceptive, simple beauty to it. So, for example, you spawn here. This is where you're going to spawn. You're going to be like, oh, okay, so what am I going to do? Righty. Oh, should I do my nearest creep camp? No, because these don't drop anything, and they're pretty crappy. So you're going to kind of waste your time on those, unless perhaps you're a Death Knight who can get skeleton rods out of them and make some sort of use. Fast play for this. But generally no, because to be quite frank, you're just going to go over to this creep camp up here, which is much more rewarding. You have a 350 health Centaur Impaler. That drops a level 2 permanent item. And do you remember what those are now? Those are your Circlet of Nobilities, those are your Gloves of Haste, those are your Claws of Attack, and your Ring of Protection. So you're going to want to basically pick this little fella off, and because this one's range and that one chases fast, you may as well finish them all off. But if you were a Blade Master, I wouldn't blame you if you just wanted to go up and ninja that, or perhaps come straight out of your base and go to someone else's. Thinking of the best way to go around to it. It's actually quite difficult to get there, to be quite frank. So I actually think if your hero came out first and they came out first and they went straight to this, I don't think there's any way that your Blade Master should get to that item before the enemy creeps it. So it's actually quite well positioned, this creep camp, because it's a level 2 permanent drop, which on this map is quite a big deal because there's a lot of charged item drops which sometimes are okay, but sometimes they're Scroll of the Beast and you're just going to sell them because they're kind of like non-items. Don't get me wrong, they can be powerful in 4 versus 4 RT, but generally you end up selling those type of things. So this creep camp's really good for you because you can creep it relatively comfortably and out of harm's way, and then you're left with this pretty easy expansion, particularly if you're Night Elf. I did it earlier and the tree takes virtually no damage. It was just a bit tricky trying to keep the aggro, but other than that it's pretty easy to do. These can be kited quite well, these creeps. You can pull them back if you've got a lot of range units. Generally range units are the way to go, and if you're human are the ones that are probably going to make melee units. Otherwise grunts, yeah, you can do it with grunts because they've got tons of health. Just pick off the medicine man first because he puts down a healing ward and those nasty feral spirits, and he's going to drop you a level 3 charged item, which is like greater healing potions and mana potions and vulnerability, and then the 2 slightly crappy ones, Wand of Mana Stealing, Scroll of the Beast, but still 200 gold is what you're looking at there from that boy. And if you were to try and nuke him down, which isn't that easy because he's got 600 health and he's a bit tough, and these creeps can somewhat overwhelm you if you're just trying to solo it with a Blade Master. I do not suggest that, but if you were to try and somehow do it, maybe you can get yourself that early 200 gold, but nowhere near worth it. Definitely pick this guy off and then consider this creep camp. So again, this is kind of a map where you pretty much definitely want to get an expansion. The only thing that's going to really screw you over is the enemy have the mentality of rushing. So I feel like at the moment the map plays out where every player just assumes to get an expansion. However, once this becomes more common in the map pool and people get more used to it, you're probably going to see more teams decide whether they're going to rush or CC, creep and control. So at the moment you're pretty safe to get an expansion, and you can position yourself in such a way that generally you can put towers in an annoying position, and the enemy are coming from this way, so you can sort of keep your towers near the back and they have to really dedicate themselves to get to your expansion. So it's pretty well safe defended. Later on, maybe not so much, but at the moment, you're in a pretty good spot to expand. But like I say, I think in the future you might see teams go like, let's literally punish this guy. Let's all go this guy's best, or maybe even 2 versus 2, because you basically... what I was saying earlier is that it's actually kind of deceptively simple. You have this creep camp, and this creep camp. And then basically your ally has exactly the same thing, and then these guys in the middle here of your two bases. So these guys are actually quite okay. They're not too bad to creep, generally, as long as you can pick them off quickly. Preferably you go together, but if you've got enough ranged units, you can normally snipe down the big boy sorcerer and get yourself another charged item, such as the healing potions and such. I think this is just like a tome. Oh no, it's a level 1 permanent item. Let's check those ones out, eh? That's the, yeah, Slippers of Agility, Gauntlets of Ogre Strength. They can be good for you situationally, depending on your hero type, obviously. But yeah, that's not a bad creep count to do, and obviously you get access to the Shredder and such. But otherwise, that's basically identical. That's you and your ally sorted. So there's not really that much to it. And then you've got this really out-of-place goblin shop at the back. Now, it makes so much sense if it was a goblin laboratory. But it's not. A goblin laboratory actually leads to some interesting gains where you might be able to sneak behind enemy lines, get a sapper. Yeah, it's not great because it's got to go all this way up and then up a ramp, and there could be towers and base defense, but it's still kind of sneaky. It feels like there should be a goblin laboratory here, and therefore you can get access to your shredder and your safe sort of like wood supply. The tavern is also miles away, so if you are going to get yourself a tavern hero, you're certainly not going to creep these camps straight off. It's okay to try and do this creep camp, but it's not that rewarding, to be honest with you. And yeah, if you want to pick up boots of speed and anything from a shop, you've kind of got to go out of your way to do it. It's inconvenient, and the whole point of shops is generally the best way they play out on maps is when they are convenient. Not to the degree where they're sort of like too convenient. It's like, oh well, there's a shop literally outside this guy's base, let's pick up loads of scrolls of healing and go in and kill him, basically. You want a level of degree of difficulty to get to them, but not this much. That is kind of a long path, honestly, to get to the shop, and then you got to go back on yourself, and you got to go even further to get your hero. So if you did have your hero coming out to town, it's got to walk all the way here, and then it's back to your base, and then you might want it to go even further. So yeah, I'm not a fan of this. Goblin Laboratory should be here, and the Goblin Shop should be here, or perhaps a Goblin Shop instead of the Fountains of Health, because I think the Fountains of Health actually determine the meta here on this game, and I'll go into more detail on that in a moment. But first of all, we're just going to keep an eye on these creeps. The creeps in the middle generally are like level 13 to 15, like total levels, and they're really easy to do if you've got ranged units, and a level 3 permanent item is actually quite nice for the most part. Could be Claws of Attack +9 for your Blade Master, Boots of Speed, Pendant of Energy, that kind of stuff. So not too bad at all, and you can pick her off really easily if you've got lots of archers or rifles. Typically, you're going to want to go ranged units. Undead might suffer because you can get to this creep camp quite quickly, much quicker than you typically get tier 2 and webs, so you might have to wait a bit. So humans and night elves have the advantage here, I believe, or an orc that's going Tauren Chieftain and Headhunters, because that's a super easy creep camp to do, because you've got a Fountain of Health, and these are squishy as hell, so you can nuke them down. They barely do any damage to you, so the only thing that's going to screw you over is if the enemy spot you trying to creep it and creepjack you. This creep camp is, however, a little bit more difficult, and it drops the level 3 charged item, which isn't all that much good, because you can get that from the bloody expansion creeps, which are probably a bit easier to do. It's not like this creep camp's the hardest, but you don't want to take it on early game, that's all I'm saying, because you're going to get screwed, plus you're also within that creepjack range. And this mercenary camp basically gives you the main one you're only ever looking for. You get like a harpy or a centaur, but the main one you're after is the medicine piggy, which comes at daytime. I can't remember, I think it's like the second daytime or something like that, but you know, it's like once you're reaching like towards tier 2 or tier 1.5 and daytime procs after that long night schedule, that's when you can get your pig, basically. And he is always worth it, in my opinion, providing you can micro him to a point that he doesn't get himself killed, because he is a melee unit. Otherwise you can get 2 healing wards out of him, because he spawns with 400 mana and they cost 200 each. Otherwise you can get 4 lots of feral spirits, which in themselves are very good, but typically you want to kind of hold them for the healing wards because it's a team game, so you get yourself into a position where you're massing. So the way I felt this map works at the moment is a lot of ranged units massed, like 50 food, mass rifles, archers, and you just go and pick on someone, basically. Typically their main base. You can try to get their expansion, but I've seen people going for the main base more often than the bloody expansion, from my experiences. I've only been able to play this map a few times. The second time I played it, was really kind of crappy. I didn't do a very good job, and I got super bullied by a Blade Master, and the game itself was just dull. Like, it's not like just me being spiteful. I am spiteful from it, but it's honestly not worth showing. It's one of those ones where it's just like, oh, okay, I'm just camping the whole time and nothing is interesting or being shown. Whereas Game 1 and Game 3 is what I played today, that's far more interesting. So you're going to see what I mean in terms of range being effective, medium to large sized armies barreling towards an enemy. Very, very very big potential there with ranged units. So you can see this middle's got a few sort of choke blocks. You can put your mass archers here, your mass archers here. The enemy will find it difficult with mass melee to sort of really close the gap if you've got 2 armies worth. So typically you will do in a team game, at least 2, maybe more. And you can just sort of, it harkens back to the old days of Reign of Chaos, where you used to just go pure range units because they would beat melee units. This is really long time ago. But going back to sort of like the map being a little bit linear, I like this map actually. I like this map. It's certainly not as bad as Feralas, that's for sure. So I'm okay with this map being there and existing. It's not fantastic, but I'm okay with its existence. The Fountain of Health, this is what I wanted to talk about a bit earlier. Actually, I'll just first of all mention that the creeps, as you can see, are identical, so diagonal spawns. So that's basically it, other than your main base and what you got. And you barely ever go to this shop, like ever. So it's super inconvenient, that shop. Maybe just having even one shop in the middle would do something than even having any of these shops on the outside, to be quite frank. I think it would get visited more often and used more often. So, coming on to the last part of my first impressions of this map is I feel tanky stuff is effective in this. Somewhat contradictory to what I was saying, where mass range typically isn't that tanky. However, again, you consider riflemen, they're like 550 health. Fiends, if you can get the web and make them useful, you know, they've got basically 550 health as well, I think. And I'm thinking heroes that can tank well. Perhaps even the Pit Lord has his place here. But my favourite combination on this map, I think, would be Tauren Chieftain and Headhunters. Because in the Game 3, when I saw these Fountains of Health and I was creeping these, I was just thinking, oh crap. Tauren Chieftain would be such a beast here if you could just do a great job. Solo him, tier 3, get him to like level 4 or level 5 early on into the game. And every time he gets in trouble, you know, you spam your spells, and then you get out and you just heal all the way up to Fountain of Health. So, again, I think the Fountains of Health are kind of a good thing because range is so dominant in this map that it actually kind of helps the melee to have their place, such as grunts, you know, higher health units, raiders to some degree, obviously knights, spellbreakers. You know, it gives melee a bit more of a chance to sort of exist in this map. Otherwise, range would truly dominate this map. But even saying that, if you're able to trick your opponent into fighting you by this fountain and you've got a bunch of range here, you're going to have a good time, because like I say, you can kind of block this off if you're kind of clever and still benefit quite largely from the Fountain of Health. So first impressions is that this map is good, it's fun to play. However, you can get bullied to a degree where it's not fun for you individually or that player. I found that this map can end very quickly simply because you got a large group of range units really giving someone a hard time, and they just cannot do much about it because you have these kind of blockade areas where loads of range units are sort of like sat here and they're like trying to defend their base, but every time they go to intercept they get a barrel load of archers freaking arrows flying at them every time. So lots of range units. I went a Demon Hunter, got him like Ring of Protection, stuff like that, kind of tanky stuff, so you can just, you know, be useful. Again, those charged items, I was lucky to get potions of greater healing from you know, these kind of creeps over here, as well as these ones. So I got some tanky stuff on that side. So tanky heroes slash a few strong melee units, and then the rest pure range. Mortar teams should technically dominate this map, but as always, mortar teams do need protection. If you don't have protection on mortar teams, they will get sliced to pieces. But generally, ranged dominates this map. So if you're going into this map, my advice to you so far from my first impressions are, see if you can work with your ally. as always, but if you can, that'd be great, because you can maybe fast creep the middle bits, because, well, you get a lot more experience from doing the middle bits, and you get some pretty good items from doing the middle bits, and you also get access to the best stuff, the medicine pig and the fountains of health. So the quicker you can get to the middle with your ally, the better. Ignore this creep camp, and you could even ignore this if you were able to get an expansion before this point, even though that's still worth doing. But whatever you do, just make your way quickly towards the middle is all I'm saying, and mass to 50 food at least. Do not fast tech on this map, because if they do mass to 50 food and range and all attack one opponent, you do not stand a chance. So take my advice if you will, and I hope you enjoy this map. I certainly do. It's a good map, it's a good addition, okay? And I feel like it's got more potential as we play out throughout it. I want to see more rushes, because players will typically see this as, oh, it's a tech map, or oh, it's a everyone expands on this map, so let's go and really give someone a hard time. One person just has to scout. You see that person who's either looking like they're fast teching or getting ready for an expansion, you know what you have to do. But of course, that requires teamwork, and that's a little tricky to come across in 4 versus 4 RT these days. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then continue to watch, because I'm going to give you a couple of games of my experiences of playing on this map, what I did, what the team did, and how it played out. So I hope this has been helpful to you. If it has, then thumbs up the video, share with your friends, and subscribe if you want to see more on the channel. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Well, there it is, a new map, Crossroads. Here we go. Looks like it's... Oh, thank you. I got human. That's really nice. That is a treat. Basically, it's going to be much harder to give me a tough time. I'm going to bully the heck out of this game. So, the first thing we want to do is... Oh, I think... No, I was going to say I thought I recognised this map. I don't. I thought I casted like a set of free-for-alls for play free-for-all a while ago. I want to check out what this creep camp is like. That looks pretty damn easy. Overall. Like, not super easy, but easy enough that I might be able to just go economal build. You've heard of that before, haven't you? The economal build. God, I don't like anywhere where I can build my lumber mill. I'm just going to chop the trees in. I won't even build one. I'll go for rifles, because rifles are always really solid. Probably Archmage in balance. Maybe AoE in balance. Okay, so I'm not really too try-hard in it. I think AoE isn't necessarily... in fact, if anything, AoE can be more try-hard than going Water Elementals and trying to play that standard game. Depending on how well you do with it. So as long as I'm aiming for that, it could be good. So I'm going to go rifles, Archmage, AoE, that kind of thingy. And on top of that, yeah, that's looking good. I'll get that expansion. And then probably into mortars and tanks. Although we do have another human, but I'll probably go down that road, because it's a strong, safe bet, really. It's good for your team. Everyone feels comfortable when a human player basically gets all the siege work engines and stuff like that.
Ready to work.
And I can get the AoE to go with it. So there'll be a lot of sort of like super area of effects splash damage. Now I won't be able to get that expansion straight off the bat, so I think we'll just start off with something a bit more subtle, such as the green. And then once I've got enough decent wood coming in, I'm going to go for that expansion, because there's no point clearing it if I can't build the expansion.
Ready to work.
Probably try and distribute the damage a little bit since I'm casting Blizzard. And I don't need to cast Blizzard anymore. And I'll let the militia take some hits, because that's a lot of sear and arrow hits I took there. Righto. Now we can bring in a bunch of militia. I'll take 6 with me, just to be safe, because you never know. And I can start building rifles. Slavers left the game. What's gone on there? Oh yeah, they got all those ads. See how effective Blizzard can be here then.
More work. Well, yes, my lord. Yes, my lord. More work. Right. What is it? What? More work. What? Well,
Eh,
yes, my lord. More back
a
over.
rough job. Probably could have done that better, but it's one of the first times I'm attempting that.
What? Yes, my lord. Well, right. Yes, my lord.
I'm your shooter.
What? More back over then. Yes, my lord.
You have a target?
Okay,
More work.
that worked. I got it done. It wasn't perfect. It was a little
Yes,
sloppy.
my lord. More
I don't think I
gold,
can
more
build
right.
that town
More
hall
gold is required.
there. No, that'll do.
Go then.
That's good enough.
All right. More work.
Require my assistance?
Nymphore prostaris
I'm your shooter. Aye, sir. I'm your shooter. Aye, sir.
Let's upgrade this tower as well, so I've got some defense on that, and then more peasants. And then we can probably have a look. Can I get to the back of this? It's hard to tell on this map. It looks like it's a long way round just to get to a crappy green camp. That's not very good. I'm not a big fan of that. Yeah, there's not really much to do once you've done that. You kind of run out of things, to be honest with you.
Require my assistance? You have a target?
Red's doing his thing over here.
What do you need? Aye, sir. You have a
Don't know how
target?
easy this
Aye,
looks. Shredded looks tempting.
I'm your shooter. You have a target? Require my assistance?
Job done.
What do you need? You have a target? Aye, sir.
Yes, my lord.
You have a target? I'm your shooter. You have a target? I'm your shooter. What do you need?
He's got the shredder, fair enough. I'll take the items then.
I'm your shooter.
What?
I'm gonna head over to his shop, I think, and nick some stuff.
What is it?
Still getting the rifle, so I still got that going for me. Should have a lumber mill, can fit in like around about here. Just chop down those
Go
trees.
then. What?
What is it? You have a target?
I might hold on to the wand of mana stealing and try and harass the enemy, because I like to just be aggressive. I just do.
You have a target?
I like to test the enemy, see what they're up to. This feels like a linear map, so I'm not too pleased with that.
Your shooter.
You've got to go through this big middle. You can't sort of shortcut to the enemy. However, you can get a shredder later.
Require my
It might be worth trying to creep that actually. I don't know how easy that is, but it might be worth it. Oh, hello.
What do you need? Aye, sir. I'm your shooter.
Use the power of Blizzard.
More work.
You have a target? Aye, sir. What do you need? You have a target?
Yeah, it seems to be working quite well for me, Blizzard, so far this game. I'll just get some fucking extra mobs, because I ain't got shit.
We're under attack. Inventory is full. Can hardly wait.
Aye, sir. I'll take care of a target. Require my assistance?
Medicine Man would be nice. I can maybe creep other stuff. There's a fountain of health in the middle by the looks of it. Not sure how strong they are.
I'm your shooter. You have a target?
If I run past and keep them over here.
I'm your shooter. What is it? You have a target? Aye. Shoot! Aye, what is it?
Oh dear, they run back into the fountain.
I'm your shooter. I've got the beast in my sights. Aye, sir. I'm your shooter. Aye, sir. I'm your shooter.
Job done. Prostaris.
I'm your shooter. You have a target?
Inventory is full.
I'm gonna have to use one of those potions of mana. Got so much of that. Okay, tech is still going through, so we're miles behind on that. Now to start upgrading our potential mortars and such. Our enemies are over there. There's 2 of them, so I've got to be careful of that. I can get my medicine man now.
What do you need?
So I know the enemy are. Oh no, they've come over to where I was.
Require my assistance?
Now, I've got so much AoE. If I can get a good position versus them. But the Tauren Chieftain's one to look out for. Got to be a wee bit careful of him.
Well, what is it now?
And the Storm Bolts.
Job done.
Well, What is it now?
There we go. Provoking a fight. Going to tech straight up. Go into my workshops when I can get them. So we're pushing them back. Shredder is definitely needed, so it's always needed. Shame I haven't got entangled because they're running away so hard. Teal's towering like mad on that side, but we can keep pushing on this side. Nice. So AoE is working quite nicely for us here. Now I can fit in a Blood Mage, but I can't because I want to get the Shredder. Shredder is a must. We all know this is a fundamental rule. You must get Shredder. You must get Shredder and be happy. Right here. Don't think he's got War Stomp this one either. I think he's got Shockwave. I've got so much Blizzard to give out. Looks like get as many healing wards before that pig goes down. Griffin's going to get focused. Wow, this AoE thing is really working for me more than it should be, basically. I'm getting away with murder here with those Griffins, basically. Not to mention we've got so many, did I say Griffins? AoE. Look at that, level 3. I think we're going to win the game right here. I think this might be it. Although I'm about to lose. Yeah. How's his Mount King doing? Yeah, I think that positioning and that AoE and those allies with some good units here to help push further into the base, and an undead base at that, might well be enough to just basically take this. Like, they've run out. Teal's gone for his triple racks Griffins, and they didn't pay off very well. I'm going to see if I can get some damage on the Acolytes before they get the cigarettes up for my Archmage. So you're going to get me some nice items. Now I've got to get myself my workshops and just go for the mass tanks, because that's the imbalance right there. Yep, Acolyte's down by the looks of it, or they've moved off into another position. I'm not entirely sure. Blade Mage is out, so lots of items. Lots of good stuff for you. Just basically come over, see how he's doing. Yeah, this looks good. I mean, we might not be able to push much further than this, to be fair. But we've done a lot of damage. It's just mass tanks, really. And then that'll seal the deal, you know? You won't go too far wrong with just mass tanks at this point, because they can just barrel into other people's bases and just be fine. So that's all I'm going to do. Just going to basically upgrade the armor of tanks and have a good time. And those Griffins are just feeding more and more experience. Almost got level 6 Archmage, so yeah, tanks coming in here is going to be a big deal. I think the game is over. Like, I'm not sure, I don't think they put everything into that because they couldn't have. Because we didn't have the biggest army, but they didn't have enough to stop us at the time, and this was kind of early. We didn't exactly have all that much. Let's get some healing for us. Hang back a little bit with some healing, some of us. I think I can blizzard outside of the range of the cigarettes. That is amazing. There's your earthquake right there. Look at that. Don't even have to worry about tower range. Let's see mass tanks very shortly. Careful with your warden. I'm going to kill it with blizzard, to be honest. Yeah, he just keeps feeding those. Oh, there's a level 6. That's GG. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened this game, but what I do know is I'm going to start spreading out some militia, just so I can teleport to multiple places on the map. It does seem like some things went slightly wrong for the enemy team there. That's all I can really say. Like, it's pretty straightforward, that one. Not very complicated. Yeah, GG. Didn't even really get started there, to be quite frank. The AoE was clearly the right choice there. That really did a good job of pushing further than it should have done. Just because of that blocked in position that they were all defending at. So apparently AoE is good for that map. Years of searching, and finally the Crossroads is mine. Finally. Ah. It's good to see you, old buddy. How you been? Long time no see. Very long time. This has been a bitch to find this map. I'm telling you. It's one of the hardest maps in the game to find, this one. I assume I can take this expansion. This might be quite far away. I could probably get away with building it there, but I won't risk it too much anyway. All we need now is somewhat capable allies. And today... No, that has not been the case. I've had more success in 2 versus 2 than I have in 4 versus 4 RT, because everyone in 4 versus 4 RT and my team has been completely and utterly retarded. You could not believe. You would think I was making up stories. You would say, no, Witty. Surely not. This is not humanly possible to be so bad. And I would go, I thought so too. Until I played those games and came across those people. Apparently it is that possible to be so bad. Wow, just wow. Here we go, this is it. I can't believe I got this map. This is difficult to find. Looks like the middle is really important to get. So it might be key to get some teamwork going on here. We'll see. Time shall tell whether Purple wants to play ball in a team game.
I stand ready. Walk away.
I'm guessing not, since he hasn't said a thing. Okay.
On your mark.
Okay.
Walk away. Waiting on you.
Let's piss these little fellas off. Oh my god, run like the wind.
Allies town needs help. Away. One shot. One kill.
He's starting his off, but he's doing it. Let's see how well he gets on by doing that. This will be interesting as well.
On your mark. Your move.
Looks like you don't take too much damage from doing this.
Away. Your move. Say more. On your mark. Your building is complete. Walk away. Cry.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward to me. I'm going to keep an eye on Purple, but I don't think he's getting much done.
Walk away.
Will you stop ignoring the Ancient? What the hell? Let the Ancient do his job.
On your mark.
Come on now. Play ball. Be nice. Be gentle.
All too easy.
My blade thirsts. You must act. Command me.
Yes. Has he actually finished that creep camp off yet? I'm not sure. Then I don't know that. Maybe he has. Maybe he hasn't. Sat down Ancient suggests that he has, but he hasn't put an expansion there.
My blade thirsts. The time has come. I be damned.
On your mark. Say more.
Time to tech.
Has come.
The time has come to tech. That's right, Illidan. That's right. Although he's an Illidan wannabe, he's not the real Illidan.
You must act. Quickly.
Keep the archers flying through. I'm going to build some little defense here as well. A few ancient protectors there or something. Not sure if I really need it. You never know though. You never know.
I stand ready.
I be damned.
Doesn't look like any item from there, so that's a bit of a shame. More archers coming out just to make it easier to creep. Also a lot of pigs apparently.
Walk away.
Now you've got these big divides, so the next place to do would be this.
Waiting on
But
you.
how doable is this really, without taking too much damage?
My blade thirsts.
Your
We must
move.
act. Command me.
Waiting on you.
Quickly. My
Not too bad actually, because they're ranged, a lot of them, and archers do fine versus range.
Your building is
Text going through. Did I get my hunter's hall yet? Not yet. More archers, more wisps. Yeah, that is just not too bad to clear. The job's getting done. Also, I'm going to cancel those wisps. Because Shredder. How could you go anything other than Shredder? Hello.
by the light of the moon. Your building is
Scroll of speed is not going to cut it. Shredder, you beast. Well played.
upgrade
I guess I'll just go greedy now and go straight into shims. Because basically that's just allowed me to do it. And what the hell? Is that a warden drop or did she blink into the wrong place? And there's a fountain of health here, so I'm going to see if I can abuse it, although it's temporary night time as far as I can tell. So I'm basically going to get screwed. That might just turn into daytime instantly. Although I've got a decent amount of solid anti-air, so... Oh shit. Blue, you scare me. And we're just going to jump straight into it, are we? Okay. Oh! Where? What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter, bro?
Our allies' town needs help.
Skeletons are the matter. That's the matter. Alright, let's get some solid anti-air as well. We can't just be too stupid and mash shims, even though I think I could get away with being that greedy.
Research finished. Our warriors have engaged.
I think we should get a lot of happy hippos and work with that. Yeah, we're getting access to all of the middle stuff, so that's very powerful. So yes, it's very keen or clear that one should basically try and abuse the heck out of the middle with your allies. We've got a lot of solid units though. At the moment, later on we're going to get screwed. Red's really playing around, isn't he? But I don't think he's getting much productive stuff done there, but he's having fun at least.
Your building is waiting on you. Your building is complete. On your mark. Our allies' town needs
Right.
help.
What are you up to?
Research finished.
Oh, hello. Huh. Shoot it down! Shoot it down! Oh my god, it's going to get away. I don't know quite where it's going, but it's going to get away.
Our allies' town needs help.
Piggies. I could get the piggies, but I'm not too worried about those. Also, this guy goes down pretty easily. Kind of run out of items to pick up.
Our warriors
Is he having another ruckus? He is. Let's get Princess of the Moon, because that works nicely with,
Our allies' town
well, you know
needs
what.
help.
Mash shims.
We can't build them. We can't build them.
I hear a lot of archers now. Now my archers are gonna die.
Research finished. Waiting on you.
That's okay though, because I'm just kind of not worried about them. Where's that Death Knight? Bring him back to me. I'm not done with him yet. I can just go heal now. So it seems like a tanky-ish hero would be quite good on this map as well. Particularly I'm thinking Tauren Chieftain. If you get a highish level Tauren Chieftain with access to Fountain of Health and you're not completely and utterly losing it on your side, yeah, there's good chances that you could do quite well here.
Your building is complete.
Must act. Command me.
Leading the way. Your building is complete. Your building is complete. We must act.
Must act.
Hello there.
My blade bursts.
How's my upgrades getting along? Pretty good. Get a bit greedy on the damage though. But if we go high on the damage, I noticed that this map is quite good for segregating people as well. So if you can pick someone off on their own and maybe siege them down quick enough, they're pretty fucked. Like, pretty darn fucked. Also, again, with the Fountains of Health, high health units, frostworms, shims, mass hippos, maybe you can get some productivity out of that. Also, we're just going to let those run right through, I guess so.
We must act.
Give me one. Go on, give me one. Treat. Ah, never mind.
My blade bursts.
Yeah, that's a few towers.
Let's go. We must act.
Well, undead base, here we go.
I am vigilant.
Command me.
command.
The time
away.
has come.
I must act. We are poised to strike.
Your blood is
She's on her way. Yeah, this is pretty awkward, this positioning. This won me the game last time I played it, but it's also pretty terrible positioning. Nice scroll of raw. Send those bad boys in. Got the Priestess of the Moon in the background. Demon Hunter can take a hit or two because he's got the Potion of Greater Healing. My Hippo should be doing pretty well here, although they are obviously getting webbed to crap, but that's okay because they're just cannon fodder at this point. And in come the Shims, the real DPS. They might try to put some damage on my Demon Hunter, but he can soak it up and mitigate it, and that means that we're just going to tear apart with the Fiend. Yeah, this is working very nicely. Demon Hunter might want to take up a greater healing potion and then run back a little bit just to come out of their range, and then back onto the, well, sexy Lich. Ow. And I think that might seal the deal. It does look really rough for them at the moment. Yes, yes indeed. Well, there you go, Crossroads. It does seem like the battles always come down to this choke point, I've noticed. Last time I played this, it was like over here, I think, the choke point, and it was undead. So again, we were attacking undead, but it just worked because we had loads of range. Because you have this huge choke point. So even though that wasn't great for us, if the enemy had lots of mortar teams and some sort of siege, yeah, we could be in trouble. But otherwise, it feels like mass range. This is Reign of Chaos style, mass range being super strong. Hey. Crossroads, thank you. Thank you very much. That's what I was after. I wanted to see this again. Right then.